How do you access your confidence when the pressure is high, when you feel challenged, and when it matters most? Because if you are like most performing artists, this is exactly where everything starts to feel shaky. You know deep down how capable you are and how well prepared you are, and yet it feels hard to access your confidence. And you might be even using some positive affirmations to try to shift your inner state and feel more confident, but it still feels like you are faking it. So the real question is, how do you access a powerful state of being in those moments of pressure? And what tools can you use so it actually works? That's exactly what we are going to get into today. Hi, I'm Anna, and I help performing artists develop the inner capacity to meet the emotional and psychological demands of the spotlight so they can expand into bigger stages and greater visibility with true confidence, inner peace, and deep sense of self. If you resonate with this, stay tuned and subscribe to my channel. And now we will go over 3 steps on how to create and use empowering affirmations that actually work. So you can show up powerfully in high pressure situations like for your important performances or big auditions. Here is the truth. It's one thing to think positive thoughts during your meditation practice when everything feels calm, or repeat an inspiring affirmation and feel empowered by it when there is no pressure. And yet, it's a very different game to translate that empowered state into a high pressure situation, to embody those affirmations, to start living as an expression of them, so that those affirmations become your new reality. Not just an inspiration, but a way of being that holds you steady when the pressure is high. Just think about it this way. A moment of inspiration or an empowering insight is like a spark. A spark is real. It has a huge potential, and you need it to create a fire. But it is not the fire. It is not enough to keep you warm or to burn steadily within you. To make a fire out of the spark, out of that insight or affirmation, you want to create the right conditions within yourself so the spark can ignite your fire. So, what are those conditions? We will go over 3 steps that when you implement them, I promise you, it will change your life. Step number 1 is that you want to become very honest with yourself about how you really feel, what is really going on in your body and in your mind when you try to say a positive affirmation to yourself with a hope to access your power. Because if you are saying to yourself, I am powerful, I am powerful, I am powerful, but somewhere in the back of your mind there is a voice saying, no, you are not. No, you are not. And you keep saying, I am powerful. And there is that voice, no, you are not. Then what you are actually creating is an internal conflict. And that makes things worse. Because for your subconscious mind, it feels like you are lying to yourself. So, step number 1 is instead of just repeating affirmations like pounding a hammer on your head, you want to become really honest about your negative self-talk. All the self-judgmental thoughts, all the worries and fears you are experiencing or imagining, everything you are afraid of that is running in the background while you are trying to shut it. And you want to do this as a regular practice, as a regular cleanup, not just a day or a week before your big moment. You want to become fully aware of all the thoughts and scenarios that feel scary. Here is an example list. I'm not good enough. I don't belong here. They are going to find out that I am a fake. Everyone here is better than me. And the list goes on and on and on. And everyone has a list like this, no matter how successful or how accomplished. Believe me, I work with highly accomplished artists, and they all have some version of this list. So once you have your list, then you begin the deeper work. And you will take one self-judgment at a time, and you will forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for carrying it, for accepting it, for being so hard on yourself, even if those self-judgments feel true. These are unuseful stories cluttering your energy, and you want to forgive yourself for carrying those stories. And yes, you might ask, how do I forgive myself for something that really feels true? Or how do I forgive myself for something that I picked up from others? Because yes, we collect a lot of negative feedback, especially in our industry that has such high standards and often unrealistic expectations. When we are constantly criticized or compared to others, right? So here is how you forgive. You want to find an innocent version of yourself, the version that existed before these judgments were formed, before you believed them, before you accepted them as your story or as your truth. That version is still within you, and you want to connect with her. And from that place, you forgive yourself, one judgment at a time. So step number 1 has 3 parts: naming your self-judgments, connecting to your innocent self, and forgiving yourself from that place of your innocence. And when you do this, something new will open up with that forgiveness. And you will experience both release of that judgment and opening of a new possibility. And in that opening, a new truth will become available to you, a truth about you, about who you truly are, that was hidden behind that judgment. This is so beautiful to get to this point. And that's the step number 2, to connect with that new truth about who you truly are. Here is an example. Years ago, when I struggled with anxiety, I developed a belief that I couldn't trust my body, that my body would betray me on stage. And I had so much evidence for it. It happened so many times that my anxiousness would ruin my performances. So I believed it. And because I believed it, I accepted it. I kept projecting it into every future performance, collecting more and more evidence that I cannot trust my body. I'm just curious, if you can relate to this, please leave me a comment below. Because for years I felt so alone in this and I didn't see a way out. And now I have a completely new relationship with myself and with my past and with this challenge. And I want you to know that it's very possible to change that, and it can be so much better going forward. My shift came when I connected to the version of me before my anxiety, the version that loved singing and wanted to share that love with others. And from that place, I forgave myself. I forgave myself that at some point, because of one bad performance, I accepted the story that it will never be different. And I was carrying that limiting story around. And once I access that forgiveness, that new opening, a new truth came to me. And that truth was and still is that my body is divine, that it was made for my soul to thrive in it and for my voice to be expressed through it. And I saw my divine self and I felt it. And that changed everything, absolutely everything. But it was still just the spark, not the fire. So, step number 3 is to anchor that new truth into your being. You take that new declaration of who you truly are and you integrate it into your body, into your nervous system, into your mind, and into your identity. And here is how you do it. First, you speak it out loud and you listen and you let it land, like you are planting a seed and watching it grow. And you write it daily into your journal and you feel it in your body. And as you are feeling it, as you are being present with that new truth, you look back in your life for evidence that it was always there. That's always been truth. You just didn't pay attention to it. Because your past is not just what you remember. Your past is also everything you overlooked and everything you took for granted. And with your new truth, your new affirmation, now you look back into your past through the lens of this affirmation and you start collecting evidence of this affirmation as something that has always been there. You just didn't see it. And in doing so, you expand who you are and who you always have been. I promise you, your brain will start noticing more and more of that truth. It's like when you buy a new dress and from all of a sudden you see it everywhere. What you focus on expands. And as you feel this new truth more deeply, your nervous system will begin to align with it. For me now, when I teach, when I speak, when I perform, I connect to my divine self, and it is there for me to hold me steady because I created a relationship to my divine self that I didn't have before. The divine was always there, but I didn't have a relationship with it before, and now I do. When I connect to my heart, I feel the divine power beating in my heart. I am not the one who is beating my heart. There is something greater than myself beating through me. And it's beating through me, but it's part of me and it's me, right? And when I connect to my breath, I feel the same. And when I speak or sing and I feel the vibration of my voice, I know it's the divine in me. And the more I am connected to it, the more available it becomes to me, for me. Because the universe doesn't speak words, it doesn't speak English, it doesn't speak language, it responds to frequency. If you repeat something without feeling it, it won't work. But when you speak it, look for the evidence of it, see more and more of that evidence, and once you see it, you can feel it more, then you become it. And here is one more important thing to keep in mind. You will have days when this feels effortless and you want to milk those days. But there will be those days where it feels completely false. When you feel inner resistance, When your ego will say, don't be ridiculous. You are so delusional. Who do you think you are? This doesn't work anyway. Right? We all have those days. And on those days, you don't force it. You don't argue with that resistance. You go back to step one. You notice what's coming up. You name it. You be present with it. You name those self-judgments. And you forgive yourself again. You take yourself again through that process. And this is not going backwards. You are going deeper. I like to think about it as a victory loop, taking you all the way around and deeper into your truth. You do this work and you are going to self-create your unshakable, powerful self instead of living in a default state of being created by everybody else. You'll be able to turn any spark of inspiration into a fire. And bringing it, you will be able to bring it into high pressure moments effortlessly. Because it's not something that is outside of yourself, it's something that is inside of you. And that's the difference between inspiration and embodiment. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I love hearing from you. Make sure to like and subscribe for more empowering content for performing artists, and check out the free resources in the description below. Sending love and talk to you again soon. Bye.